Thank you. My question for the panel is, will the government scheme aimed at cutting the number of people being forced out of their homes by asking housing associations to take an equity share in their property result in housing associations being burdened with unmanageable portfolios?
Una, would you like to?
This might be one for me.
I hope so.
To be honest, what we've heard so far in terms of it's been sort of called the mortgage rescue scheme, and what we've heard so far is very sketchy. It looks as though it's a very, very focused scheme, which is looking at about something like 6,000 potentially repossessed properties in the whole of the country. So that's not a lot if you think that, I think last year was 45,000 repossessions. So it's not going to be a great deal. We have real concerns about it because we got caught out the last time. So in the 90s, when we had what was called the housing market package, we bought thousands of homes from owner-occupiers who were in default. And we inherited a large number of disparate properties with huge maintenance issues. So I think the feeling probably from the housing association sector now is a bit very, very cautious, and I've not heard many of my colleagues saying that they would wish to embrace it. What we are doing, though, however, is buying up much properties from developers off the shelf, and we've been doing quite a lot of that, where we've been able to get in early and influence the spec and change specification and the design in some way. So I think I'd probably be quite cautious about how much we think that the mortgage rescue will probably take off.
Is that the key, though, this being able to influence the spec early on in the process in buying?
Yeah, because what happens, I mean, since the last time with the last buyout, we've had the introduction of what's called the Decent Home Standards, which some of you will know about. And that means that we have to get up to a standard of quality of home by 2012. I think we're not all going to meet that, but that's certainly our aspiration. Most of those properties that we bought off the shelf, which have been owner-occupiers, they're going to need roofs replaced, central heating systems replaced. And so the level of funding we'd have to put in to bring it up to that standard is unlikely to be affordable. And certainly with the options that we've got now about buying land and property elsewhere, it's probably not going to be a priority for us. What does seem to be happening more, though, and this is different, hopefully the government have caught on to this, is that by reducing the amount of time that people in difficulty can get access to income support and housing benefit will hopefully reduce some of the repossessions at the large scale that we had last time. It's early days because I think we haven't really seen the true magnitude of that yet. I think what would be perhaps more interesting to the construction sector is what we're also arguing that we would like to see a big increase as a start of a programme about retrofitting existing homes to come up to better eco standards. Because if we look at the attempt we're making to increase all new homes to Code 3, that's just not, in terms of the scale of the impact of that, it's nothing compared to what we could do if we could improve the sustainability of existing homes. So we've put in a plea for that to the Treasury to have a massive increase of that programme. And I think that would be do so much more to keep people in skills, to skill up people, and also to really improve the sustainability of housing.
Thanks, Sarah. Can I just check, is there anyone in the audience who's actually burning to say something about this here before we move on? I take one point from the audience. No? Okay. Ron, would you like to come back and comment on what Una said?
I'm not at all surprised by your response. I had this sort of vision of you actually inheriting this unwieldy sort of burden of properties in various states of disarray. I represent the interests of small to medium-sized builders, and a lot of their bread and butter work is in refurbishment. And clearly where you've got properties where the ownership is perhaps, if you like, split or confused between part owned by the private individual, part owned by a housing association, looking after it, trying to get repairs and maintenance, trying to actually figure out who's actually responsible for it is a complete and utter nightmare. So let's say I'm not at all surprised by your response there. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry we can't develop that a bit more, but time is running away from us. So I would like to move on into the last section of this debate this afternoon, which is moving now to the future state of the industry. And our next question is from Hugh Nettlefield of Quattro Design Architects.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you. This is the ready